Anouk. So
Hello,
this
my
is a
dear.
wonderful gathering with Anouk, who's a soul sister and so very dear to my heart. I only discovered this week that Anouk does astrocartography readings, which is why we are gathering today. I've asked her to do
Mm.
one for me. We're looking forward to what unfolds. I'm very excited to hear. Um, just a little bit from my side, I've been feeling for quite some time that I really need to establish where on the planet I need to be. I know that I'm in Africa, back in South Africa, where I've lived for the best part of 40 years. And I'm from Zimbabwe. So Africa is, I always say to people, Africa's in my blood and my blood is in Africa. It's very much a soul place for me as well. However, I have the connections to other places. And I've got this sense that I'm going to be traveling quite a bit. And I know that when I travel, it's to do with the grid work and putting codes into the earth. I mean, wherever I go, I seem to do that naturally. My higher self knows and does that. So this is why I've reached out to Anouk, and I'm going to ask you to take over and tell us more about this beautiful gift that you bring, Anouk.
Thank you, my dear. Thank you for this opportunity. It has been an evolution of, my own journey with astrology. I am completely self-taught. It's many, many years of being so dedicated to astrology that I lose myself, like I'm sure all of us have that in us wherever it's really exciting. We don't realize the timing. And yeah, many a nights of just like looking deeper and researching and understanding and making sense of my own chart. Years of that. And then the evolution of that with clients was always through the soul journeys, through the
Oh,
being with clients where they are in a state of kind of alpha, soft, relaxed state and giving themselves this time to go deep into their own wisdom and then sharing what they're seeing and experiencing. And it became more and more that all the ones that were attracted to my work were guiding the journey. It's like I guide a journey, but it's their soul guiding it. So it was being guided into future. It was being guided into other star systems and
oh,
different civilizations or advanced civilizations. And it became quite something. So what I thought was going to be maybe a past life, a timeline that was important for them to access and gather wisdom from that. It was so much about where they are in the future and how they're bringing the future forward. So
hmm.
that was my journey into astrology, is where I wanted to check for my clients if I could somehow see the connections through astrology to these planetary systems that they were bringing the information from. And then, of course, lo and behold, they were real connections. And then I was like, wow. And now a lot of people are doing it. And I am bringing the astrocartography. So this is literally where it is set to your natal chart, because the natal chart is an image, kind of like a snapshot of the moment of your birth, if you have the correct timing. And so wherever the planets are in the various regions of your chart, which in the sky would be, a 360 degree, um, a, a gentleman who's now passed, but he was Jim Lewis, and he created astrocartography because he recognized that just as the chart is showing us where they were, the planetary bodies were at the moment of your birth, they were also influencing the Earth. So the physical, sphere of the planetary body that is the Earth, and wherever the planets were being infused in locations with the energetics of that day, of that planet by alignment. So then he was able to create the software, obviously with some other people, to pinpoint and then create a circumnavigational line, which he called power lines. And then where the circumnavigational lines also cross became the crossings and the latitudes. So all of a sudden, we had maps of the energy of our birth kind of embedded, prepared for us on the earth, so that whenever we moved, and it's interesting because I think he created that in the late 60s. And I think before people didn't travel as much, and then all of a sudden this information was available to us because now souls were more aware and we're more in tune with their soul, and we're more able to also travel to locations. So
wow. This is
yeah,
just extraordinary, and I love what you've shared there, Anouk. Thank you. And just listening to you speak about the soul's journey, so this is exactly one of the modalities that I also do. I call it beyond quantum healing. So it's taking people into their own memories and their own morphogenetic field of where everything they've ever done or ever been is there and available for them. So this is so beautiful, and that you've tied it up with astrology is just wonderful. I mean, we cannot deny that it influences us, even if you are not really one who buys into it, you have to recognize that there are times when the planets are influencing us all on a global level. So I think it's really beautiful.
yeah, absolutely. And I am always surprised by astrology, and clients too, because there is always some like, oh, there it is. And it's like, it's mind-blowing when we find it in the chart, what we felt, what we experienced, what we feel is about to happen, and we feel we're in preparation for something new, and we can see it, it's there. So again, my sense is that there is a perfection in the universe. There is a perfection in our experience, even if it doesn't feel good, even if it feels no.
I can relate to that. The great, what I call the great
that.
perfection, the Dzogchen. It's really and truly there. And I think if we can see that and recognize it and own it in every circumstance, even those that are really challenging us or feel like they're destroying us, if we can see the great perfection, then we can ride above all the lower energies of that experience.
Yeah, I think that is definitely the mastery to be in that whatever is happening, the experience, and know that there is a perfect in time alignment for us. So let's begin. I want to share.
Yeah, I'm very excited for this. I must be honest. I just want to change my screen. So there we go. Fabulous. I'm so excited. Thank you.
Okay, so I have added here, let me take this off for now. I have added here, this is your natal chart.
Right.
And I have added here some galactic points that your chart is aligned to. So I can send you this chart.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I have already a copy of it for you.
Awesome.
I am connecting the astrocartography to the locations that are also being influenced by star systems, but also magnetic points. So I know the focus here is astrocartography, but it feels really important. And we can look at this at another time because I know you have meetings after. So
we're not pressed for time. I'm good for however much time you need, and you're prepared to put into this. So thank you.
This is what I was saying, the natal promise, the snapshot, still in time at the moment of your birth based from the earth. I also look at it from the point of view of the sun, but this is the geocentric, so from the point of view of the earth. So the center wheel is the earth, and then this outer wheel is the 12 constellations that the solar system and the earth with it is moving throughout the 12 months of the year. So we're looking at a 2D version of, what is going on in the galaxy. And at the moment of your birth, the planets were kind of located quite spread out for you. If we had a 360-degree view at the moment of your birth and you as a baby could see it all, you would know those were the locations. So those are the parts and the aspects that influence the journey, the location, astrology, and astrocartography. So I have added some important points that I want to share. First of all, starting with the ascendant. The ascendant, this line across, probably can't see because there's so much in here, but literally the horizon is the sunrise point, and then the movement of the sun and the sunset point. And the sun hit this point as the highest location on that day. So this becomes the MC, and then this is another axis across to the IC, which is the roots. So it's the lowest point beyond the horizon that the sun hit before the next day. So we are set in time space by our star, which is the sun. And the point of sunrise for you at 29 degrees of Capricorn, 29.30 minutes of Capricorn, was aligned to Lyra, was aligned to the constellation Lyra and the star Alad-Far. So this is a star that still vibrates in the sky, as we know that the Lyran system was somewhat destroyed, but the star remains. So the frequency of that star is very much assisting you, as well as, of course, the Lyran beings and Lyran origins. So what does this mean? Because you also have Mars here, and the opposite to that is Uranus on the descendant point. So this is the point of the sunset. Right. So between sunrise and sunset, it was guided by this one star, particularly in the Lyra constellation, holding steady Mars-Uranus, which is a huge power force, which is the energy that you carry on Earth. You are very able to be precise. I mean, we see this in the work that you do, highly conscientious, precise. What's another word when you are like meticulous in the micro to the macro, because now we're going from Mars, Capricorn, ascendant, to Uranus, which is the higher mind, higher intelligence, evolution of consciousness, the future. So you were able to be kind of zooming in the most minuscule aspects of the being and the energy that you carry to Earth, all the way to the expansion of consciousness. And literally this is evolution. So right there, if I didn't say anything else, this is so much about who you are and how you are assisting this evolutionary phase on Earth, bringing the micro to the macro, and then being this light, because the ascendant is the first light, is the sunrise on the day of your birth. Sure. So you were born you were born right here because that was just about midnight, and that was exactly where the sun hit the lowest point on the horizon on that day. And if you see, the sun is at 25 degrees 54 minutes and the IC is at 25 degrees 46 minutes. So
Wow.
of course you will be born almost to that perfect, like this is pretty much perfection, which is so much about what you bring to earth, the exact
Oh, I'm
angles
actually
and degrees.
I'm blown away because these charts are available to us for free on, go and have a look at the AstroSeek or wherever. And I remember the first time I looked at mine, I was like, my goodness gracious me, I don't know if I'll ever understand this, but let me see what they say. So you read the basics. But what you've told me in the last 5 minutes is absolutely blowing my mind, because it just solidifies for me that connection to Lyra and who I be as a person. Just thinking back over my life, this dance between the ascendant and the descendant and the energy there and Uranus and what Uranus is all about. It's just like, these are aspects of myself that my higher self knows, but my conscious mind was not aware of. And it's, wow, just a gift right there. Thank you.
You are a gift. So yeah, thank you. It feels really important to point this out because this is how I look at astrocartography. I look at where the soul is and what it wants to experience and express, and the purpose of it
Yeah.
being on earth and mission. So it cannot be separate from the natal chart and from even the transits, from what the soul is in evolution at that particular time. So yeah, it needs to be guided back and forth from that aspect of the natal promise, as I call it. And then of course the axis here on the MC, which is the highest point of the sun. So this is now, imagine you are now on an open space, an open prairie, and there is the midday sun, and there is no shadow, there is nothing to hide from. You are in the perfection in that moment, expressing the soul. This in astrology would also mean the point of career, the point of the soul gifts that you want to share in the world, the sessions that you offer. And right here you have Neptune, which to me is the divine dream, is the memory, is the capsule. If we could imagine what the divine truly is, if we could have a deeper perception of it, and what the dream, what original intention is, and then we can literally encapsulate. To me, this is Neptune. This is why in astrology they say is the illusion and the delusion, because if we are not set to that harmony, then we're gonna see all sorts of warbles. This is why this new moment we are at, literally this new moment. Neptune right now is at the very last degree for all of us, in Pisces, which is the last age. If I add the transits, Neptune is at the very last degree of Pisces, and we have known the Piscean age is completing, and we are moving into the age of Aquarius, and that is ruled by Uranus, and it's going to be very Mercurian and higher mind, and the energy of fast and information. So what does that all mean and this happens by 2026? It goes back and forth. I'm telling you this because your Neptune is on your MC. look at the dates. By 2026, January 26, 2026, this is when Neptune begins a completely new cycle, and that is for the collective. Is going to be in the beginning of Aries, and Aries is a fire sign. So it goes from water to Aries. It's done its work through the Piscean age to bring understanding of completing something and beginning something. So this is starting by March 2025. 30th of March 2025, it moves back and forth, and then it completes that retrograding, and then January 2026, it's in earnest, and that is going to be a new dream. This is why the next 18 months is 18 months, barely 18 months now, is going to be so much about what is the dream? Do we remember who we are? And what is the origin of this being and this desire, this deep fire within ourselves? And for you, it's right here. The people, how am I going to show up? How am I going to be this illumination for others, for this divine dream, for this memory of original intention? And of course, it's going to be with a square to Lyra. When there is a square like this, it's so much about, it's a must, it needs to happen, and there is no way of not happening, because a square is literally this 90-degree angle, which makes this precision of, it's solid, it's steady, and it cannot be shaken. So I have similar in my chart.
Wow.
Where the axis of the chart are in the square. So it's like you're the solid being come to Earth to bring clarity out of the illusion. So you are bringing.
Carry on. Sorry, I don't want to interrupt you, but I'm just getting hits that are remarkable. Very aware of numbers, because for me, the universe is numbers. Everything is numbers. So when you give these dates, I'm like, okay, I need to pay attention to that. I believe that my mom and dad were a true Hieros Gamos, or a twin ray, before that notion was even known. I just became aware of it in the last 10 years, really. And the March 2025 is when I am suspecting that I will actually start traveling further afield. So I find that very, very interesting, just amazing.
Yeah, and we can keep tracks of, dates, like contact me whenever you're doing things and I can check again.
Feeling quite emotional, I must say. It's like there's emotion welling up for me, because it's beautiful. Thank you.
It's you. It's a beautiful thing to know the self, to know the truth of the self. Now, not only you have this amazing alignment to Neptune, the divine dream, on the MC shining, people are going to be, they are throughout your life, but even more now, because something is happening here with Chiron for you, which I can talk to you privately about. But is aligned to Shapley. Shapley is a magnetic point, is a galactic, don't even have the word for that. It's intergalactic, extra dimensional magnetic point. So going back to planet Earth, the solar system, our star, the sun, we are, bound to the movements of our solar system. It feeds us in some way. We are part of each other in this dance in the galaxy. And the sun center is, what we're all moving around doing our dance. Now, there is a center point in the Milky Way, which is our local space galaxy. And that we know is galactic center. You have an alignment to galactic center. Oh yeah, to your moon. Galactic center to your moon. So that we know, most of us know about galactic center, the center of the Milky Way. And then we have super galactic center, which is now the center of the galaxy. And then we have the great attractor, which you have an alignment here to, I mean, the galactic of your frequency and what you bring to Earth. It's like, I was mind blown. Look, sorry, I'm moving my charts here. I was mind blown by all of your connections to the galactic points. And of course, because you're bringing so much information, which is beyond what we know. So you have North Node to the Great Attractor. North Node is the direction that your soul wants to fulfill and complete, is the mission. And right there, who is assisting you to fulfill your mission but the particles of light coming through the Great Attractor, which is this faraway point. Now, this is beyond our galaxy. That is, astronomers now say, is dark energy or black energy, which means creation. It's the 0 point. It's the attraction of all. And then beyond that, there is Shapley, which is
Wow.
so far astronomers have told us that is where everything, all of our galaxies, all the galaxies that we know so far, all of them are moving towards Shapley. So Shapley is, centripetal point of all of our consciousness. And you have this amazing alignment through Neptune, through your MC to Shapley. So what does that mean on a human level is that your capacity to gather information and translate it to Earth from this point of, I don't have a word for it. Sometimes I call it extragalactic, or, the mother of all portals. It's a power point, and is, of course, magnetic. So it's working with all of us. But for you, particularly having an alignment to Neptune, it means the quantum entanglement of you are connected to, and therefore the connection comes back to you. It works both ways. So your ability to transduce, to translate, and to bring to Earth, and then to be this, I want to say this voice, but it's so much more than a voice, because I know you are the scribe, and it isn't, here in Libra, which is the balance, which is the harmony. So thank you for being this, and for coming to Earth with all of this to bring, and to share with us, that you share so generously with us. So please, put more of your being out in the world, because people are going to be ready in the next 2 years. By 2026, we won't even know what hit humanity. It will be so like, people are going to get a lot more than they get today. So I know that for all of us, we have been doing things that feel so much out of time or way ahead of time. And it's all going to be out there for people to find, and to, reconnect to themselves, and hopefully find you and your work. So thank you.
Oh, thank you, Anu'Shé. When you speak of Shapley, that feels to me like the cosmic womb. It's the birthing place of everything, or what we call the void. So
it's so powerful that I have no physical, human language for it. So I know that you feel it, and you've always felt it because it's there. Yeah. But not only that, you have Arcturus there too, a connection to Arcturus. Arcturus being the highest evolved, highest consciousness beings assisting Earth in our galaxy.
This is where it really gets interesting to me. I mean, I had a look, I drew a free astrocartography, and I was like, no, not even going to go there. I have no idea what this.
Yeah, as I said, there is a lot here, but it needs to be looked at from the point of view of all that we discussed.
Right.
So just there, these are the lines of energy and, gifts. It's kind of like a shower of blessings upon you that is spread around the earth, and everybody has their own pattern, their own dance of power lines. And whenever the power lines meet, obviously where they meet, this bubbles represent the zeniths, where the actual energy, the frequency of those planets were hitting the location on Earth on that day. And then that creates the circumnavigational power lines. And then the lines, we don't see, there would be too many lines here, but there are crossing lines whenever the lines cross. So like right here. So in this latitude, there would be a lot of crossing lines all around the globe. And then we also have the parans, which are, again, kind of like crossings, latitudes.
All right.
I can add them, but let me tell you about the meridian. So this is beloved Africa.
My goodness gracious me. I don't believe what I'm seeing. This this point here in Tanzania.
Yes.
Okay, that feels very, very significant to the grid work that I'm doing. And I've actually got goosebumps.
Me too. When I looked at this, I was like, oh my goodness, Leonie, we have to meet. We so have to meet.
Wow.
Do you want to share what you are?
So the very first geometry that I brought in for the Royal Lyran project was connecting Uluru with Brandberg Mountain in Namibia practically on a straight line. And then the third point was Mount Kilimanjaro, which I think is exactly where this it must be.
It's
Yeah.
very much in the orb of it, because the orb of influence. Yeah, Kilimanjaro would be here, Arusha. And I remember we had this conversation because that was the original vision that the White Lions were giving me of the great gathering of.
Yes.
At the time, I saw there were tribes of Africa. Now I understand it's us coming to Earth and all of the different lineages and our galactic origins landing physically fully in our body, in our being. And it was going to happen. So I feel that the dream is still alive. It's going to happen by Mount Kilimanjaro. Mount Kilimanjaro would be here.
Mind-bending, mind-boggling.
Amazing. But you were telling us about Mount Kilimanjaro. Was there anything else that you wanted to share about the?
Just that there, Araya Unra?
Yes.
Right? She's my beautiful soul sister I believe in our soul monad, because this morning I was shown that what we're all doing and why we're coming together is monadic soul work. And she is the dragon lady, so she has this connection to the dragons. Obviously, she's very in tune with the 12 original dragons of Mu. And the way I connected with her is when she went to Egypt, another golden thread. She said she had this call, she must get to Egypt. So she went to Egypt. And when she was there, she was like, no, this is not where I'm supposed to be. I must go straight down south to South Africa. And there she woke up the black female dragon, whose entire body lies all the way up the African continent. Her head is, or her crown chakra is in the Cape area, in a place called Daniel's Kale. Her heart chakra is at Lake Victoria, and her womb chakra is in Egypt.
Oh, wow, I feel so altered now to come back to this.
This is really good, though.
Oh, well, there is a lot. If you are in the south tip of Africa here by Cape, you also on your Uranus descendant line. Now, Uranus, which is your in your chart is on your descendant. You are on the natal power line here.
Okay.
So on some level, this would feel also like home where you are right now. How does that feel?
It's exactly where I am. It's exactly where I am.
So does that feel good if you were to stay here for a while longer?
Yes, I've always said that this area makes me feel very happy. I'm very much at peace here. I do still have that pull to be in Portugal. It's really felt like a soul place for me. But I also know that I need to, I was told in 2009, pack up your home and be ready to go wherever you're guided to go. And I accept that, and I've had the most amazing 15 years. But I'm at a time where I feel like I want to have a home base again, and I know that you get this because you're in a very similar position. It's like
Absolutely.
I want all my things that are in storage in different places in one place. I want to have a home base, but I am still absolutely, for the rest of my days on this earth, ready to go wherever I need to go because I love it. I love to travel. It's one of my greatest passions is to meet other cultures, to be with people, and to experience life wherever I am, the way those who live there experience it. So, yes, as much as I'm very much at home down here in the very most southern tip, I'm about 40 kilometers from the most southern tip of Africa.
Amazing.
I'm right on that.
In between the two?
No, not even. So do you see where the blue line hits the edge? If you just move your cursor a little bit up, I'm about there. So
Here.
I'm actually on that Uranus line.
Amazing. So of course, this is a very good place for you to, write and bring all of this information through Uranus. Because that in astrology, the descendant would be the point of merging into relationship with another, is the point of I have completed understanding myself and now I'm ready to merge. So for you, because of all of your work and the multidimensionality of you, this is also how you you merge with the universe. You are in this relationship with everything through
Wow.
Uranus. And
Thank
Uranus is making its move into Gemini, which is, the message. So very much a
you. My
message of
moon.
your moon interconnectedness. So it would be a positive place
Yeah.
to be. I haven't looked at. And then you have the crossing Mercury, Chiron, and Sun, Uranus. So again, bring in the message of healing. And because Chiron for you is also the lineage, it's in Aquarius. So it's also working with the lineages. So all the memories, all the stories of all the lineages,
Wow.
time to start anew because it's an Aquarius, is the new day, is new earth.
Mm, sure.
So let's look at Europe. And what is interesting, because you say you feel so connected to Portugal, which again, this is the soul understanding and the soul's multidimensional, which isn't available on a simple software here. But through, I don't know where you were, but pretty much the whole of Portugal has your Saturn on the ascendant, and your natal Saturn is in the 11th house of groups and community.
Yeah.
Your North Node is here as well. So it's like the first degree of Sagittarius ruled by Jupiter, expanding potentials for community or even seeding new communities. You are the first degree. So seeding something new that then can expand, and it would be something related to also faraway lands and travel. So it's interesting that you say that you feel the travel is there because your North Node is in Sagittarius. Normally, Sagittarius is the ninth house of travel and faraway lands, and of course, um, interdimensional, extra-dimensional, galactic travel as well,
Wow.
out of body experiences. And you have the great attractor here to your North Node. So your natal Saturn, when is in on your ascendant, so I can understand that this would be the beginning of you creating community in a new way. So it's the structure. Saturn is the structure, is the hard work, is the solidity, the grounding. It makes you be even more precise and meticulous and careful with how, everything, the precision of a building and creating the proper foundations to support, all the levels that you want to build above. And it's trining Mars. And
Okay.
Mars is also on your ascendant. So the only thing about living here on a long term is going to make it feel like it's all about work.
Good.
It's all about giving more of yourself and, more time and more precision. So if you do,
It makes so much sense, Anouk. I can't tell you. It makes so much sense because I always say to people, in my perfect world right now, my dream is to have a home base in this area where I am, in the Western Cape or the Overberg, and to have a home base in Portugal. And the place that I would love to create in Portugal, we want to create a wisdom center. So we would like it to be a place where others can gather and bring their gifts, stay there for a time, or do workshops. A greater property will be dedicated to this new earth that we want to anchor. So this is the dream, to do that in Portugal, but be available to travel. And if we're doing it, I'm not big on community living. I prefer the concept of village, where we're all together in a small place. Each one has their own home, but we collaborate and work together and support each other. And I believe this is the way of the future. Expansive new way of being and sharing it with others in what is like a village rather than a feudal system where the land is owned by one person and he calls the shots, you're allowed to do this. And that doesn't work for me. Too much of a rebel.
and also wherever you create here stands the time, it is long term. Saturn causes us to create for the long term. And you know, your Mars on the ascendant natally, this is where you have your Alad Far star, which is on the Lyra constellation.
Fantastic. It's just fantastic. Lots to digest and process and integrate.
I'd love to look at all of the points that you worked with, you know, throughout the years and map it out for you.
Wow. Well, I can do that. I can share with you the Royal Lyran grid map that I've made. Yeah, look at this. Is that Uluru? Oh, I love this work, Anouk. I just love it. I have past life memory of doing cartography in a previous life, but a very, very long time ago.
So it's slightly over here, below, just here. Yeah, it would be on your. Here we go.
There we go. There's Uluru.
So when I click on Uluru, is your. It's usually 300 kilometers, so maybe it's more than that. But it has your Mars square and Saturn trine DMC. And Saturn trine DMC is this point over here, the point of community creating, seeding something new that stays for the long term, stays for, you know, it keeps growing and expanding.
Wow.
So that point is connected to Uluru.
But it's such a big exercise, and I know how busy you are. You've got things on the go, but if we're meant to do that, to decode the Royal Lyran geometries and look at how they fit in, possibly what I'm thinking, not even only for me, but for us as a group, you know, as a monad, as a soul group, for the work that we're doing and going forward, that feels important for sure.
Maybe I could do that. Maybe I could do that. Create a chart that is the totality. I wonder whether I would use our natal charts, or if I would use the date that we come together.
So, Anouk, these circles that you see on the astrocartography, they are significant zones. Are they zeniths?
Yeah, those are the places where the energy was hitting at the precise moment
of my birth.
Minute of your birth.
Okay. I'm feeling them
so
much.
So absolutely. Now this is when I love this work, because now all of a sudden you start feeling, and then somehow it manifests. There are people in those locations that you have lines.
I think we have a little bit of a roadmap that we can follow to doing some collaborative work, which feels important for our soul's mission. I see this is a launching pad for us to look at this astrocartography in a deeper way for what we are doing and what we're bringing to the world. It's
absolutely, I love it.
Extraordinary.
Yeah.
I can't, you know, there's not enough superlatives. It's like mind bending.
I know, there are no words, right? Yeah. Anywhere else that you want me to look?
Right now, I think we've done exceptionally well. So beautiful, Anouk, really so beautiful. I've just got so much gratitude for you as a sister in my life. Really, really, no words. I love you, Anouk. Thank you so much.
No words necessary. I feel you, my dear sister. So much love. So delighted for this time together.
Yes, precious and special. And we do the next one with Leslie. That'll be great.
Yeah.
All right.
How exciting.
Yeah. Cannot make it up, as you say. All right, my darling.
Much love. Much love.
Thank you. Thank you so much.